Hello, hello. Welcome to another stream with the boys.
Yo.
Today we've got a treat for you. Collector Booster Box from the latest set, Innistrad Crimson Vow. Also got a foil promo pack that I won this past Friday at pre-release over at our favorite store, Dueling Land. That's right, Dueling Land in Aurora, Colorado. They've got a lot of the sealed product that you're looking for. And, they carry singles and things too. They also offer a wide variety of TCGs, so if Magic's not your thing, you can also check out some of their other stuff, but I'm more partial towards the Magic stuff myself, so that's what we're going to be working on today. If you would like, you can reach out to them on the internet. They are really active on Facebook and Instagram. And if you're not in the area, you can try and contact them for outside sales. So without further ado, we're going to open this box and we'll save this promo pack for the end. The lovely wedding theme on the front of the box. Alright, first boy.
Hello. Wow, I even get the honors of opening the box. Ugh.
Oh, what's that? That's right, box toppers are back.
Promo.
Oh, double box topper. Collector boosters come with the double box toppers.
Maybe. There we go. Wow, those are some tight packs. Alright, so starting off with Belligerent Guest. Trample whenever it deals combat damage to a player, create a blood token. And blood tokens are a new thing for Crimson Vow. It says it's an artifact with 1 tap, discard a card, sacrifice this artifact, draw a card. So, pretty interesting. Flourishing Hunter. When it enters the battlefield, you gain life equal to the greatest toughness among other creatures you control. Evolving Wilds. That's a returning one. Weaver of Blossoms. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. And this is a werewolf, so it's daybound. And then the backside says add 2 mana of any 1 color instead. So, pretty good. Skull Scab Exploit. This is a returning mechanic from a while ago. It says, when this creature enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice a creature. And you may sacrifice this to its own exploit. But most creatures have a bonus for exploiting something. And this says, whenever a creature you control exploits a non-token creature, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token without Decayed in this set. So, pretty nice. Wolfkin Outcast. This spell costs 2 less to cast if you control a wolf or werewolf. Daybound, and then Wedding Crasher. If Wedding Crasher or another wolf or werewolf you control dies, draw a card. Then our land, very pretty. Ulvenwald Oddity. Trample Haste 7 and transform it into an 8/8 with trample and haste that buffs all your other creatures, and it's just great. So, pretty good pull. Archial Alchemy. When it enters the battlefield, create a blood token for each opponent you have. So, a commander card, most likely. Blood tokens you control are equipment in addition to their other types, and have equipped creature gets +2/+0 and equip 2. That's pretty nice. Hallowed Haunting. As long as you control 7 or more enchantments, creatures you control have flying and vigilance. And whenever you cast an enchantment spell with create a white spirit cleric creature token with this creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of spirits you control. Wow. Unholy Efficient. Vigilance. Pay 5. Put a +1/+1 counter on him. And yeah.
Welcome, Jerry. I hope your The Last of Us stream goes well in a few minutes.
This is, I'm pretty sure, one of the Count Dracula things, just like the what's it called from
The Godzilla.
Yeah, just like the Godzilla from.
So you're right. This is a special card treatment. In this set, Crimson Vow, they took a normal card, which is Vampire's Vengeance, and they gave it a Dracula-themed alternate art, and that's why it's got a different name at the top, Mysterious Blood Illness. I believe that they used inspiration from Bram Stoker's Dracula, but it's a nice alternate art frame, just like the Godzilla ones from Ikoria, just like you said.
And so it's Vampire's Vengeance deals 2 damage to each non-vampire creature. Create a blood token. Then one of the glorious 2-mana
Slow lands.
Blood Crazed Socialite. Menace. When it enters the battlefield, create a blood token. Whenever it attacks, you may sacrifice a blood token. If you do, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn.
Now note, this ability, you have to pay for that upon declaring attackers. You can't do it in response to blockers. You have to actually make that choice when you attack. So yeah, Jerry, that is nice that they kept the actual names on there. It's pretty cool.
Dracula, Blood Immortal.
The man himself.
Woo! I don't know that. Sadly, this isn't Edgar, but it's whatever.
No, this is Falconwrath Forebear.
Flying. It can't block. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, create a blood token. Pay a black, sacrifice 2 blood tokens, return it from your graveyard to the battlefield. So, then a lovely little spirit. That was fun.
There's some pretty interesting arts that I haven't seen yet from this set. That's pretty nice. Let's see. Jeez. Okay.
Toy like a toyga.
There we go. Alright. Starting off... Oh, that's the back. Hold on. Alright, we start off with Amendant Will. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains indestructible until end of turn. That's pretty nice. Ooh, the Cruel Witness. Flying, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, look at the top card of your library. You may put that card into your graveyard. And then we've got Kessig Flame Breather. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. Oh, nice. Our Snarling Wolf. It's a 1/1 for 1, and you can pay 2. It gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Activate only once this turn. Or once each turn. Honeymoon Hearsay. Trample. Tap 2 untapped creature you control. It becomes an artifact creature until the end of turn.
So, kind of like a vehicle, except not with crew. It's just tapping 2.
Yep. Alluring Suitor. When you attack with exactly 2 creatures, transform it. And it transforms into a Deadly Dancer. Trample. When this creature transforms into Deadly Dancer, add 2 red. Until end of turn, you don't lose this mana as steps and phases end. Then you can pay 2 red. Deadly Dancer and another target creature gets +1/+0 until the end of turn. That's pretty nice. Our nice foil full art swamp. Overcharged Amalgam. We'll say yes. Flash Flying. Exploit. When it exploits a creature, counter target spell. Counter target spell, activated ability, or triggered ability. That's pretty fun. Oh, that's cool. A full art commander card.
Yeah.
Called Donal, Herald of Wings. Whenever you cast a non-legendary creature spell with flying, you may copy it, except the copy is a 1/1 spirit in addition to its other types. Do this only once each turn. That's pretty cool. Liveheart Shaman. Whenever Liveheart Shaman attacks, you may search your library for a basic land card that doesn't share a land type with the land you control. Put that card onto the battlefield, then shuffle. Then you can pay 6, create a 1/1 green insect creature token. Put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the number of basic land types among lands you control. Activate only as a sorcery. That's pretty nice.
They've nerfed a lot of these activated abilities. It seems like in this set, a lot of this stuff you can only activate at sorcery speed, which is a little disappointing, but hopefully it balances out the power level.
Yep. We've got Markov Waltzer. Flying Haste. At the beginning of combat on your turn, up to 2 target creatures you control each get +1/+0 until end of turn. That's kind of interesting. Oh, Kinsey Harker, or Reclusive Taxidermist. A taxidermist gets +3/+2 as long as there are 4 or more creature cards in your graveyard, and then you can tap to add 1 mana of any color. I like the art. Torrens, Fist of the Angels. Training. Whenever you cast a spell, create a 1/1 green and white human creature token with training. That's nice in the art. Oh, we got another Markov Waltzer in the foil.
Cool.
Geralf, Visionary Stitcher. Zombies you control have flying. Blue and tap it. Sacrifice another non-token creature. Create an XX blue zombie creature token where X is the sacrificed creature's toughness.
So you can turn all of your non-zombie creatures into zombies, and then they have flying.
Yep.
That's scary.
Alright. Blood Betrayal. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature. It gains haste until end of turn. Dawnheart Disciple. Whenever another human enters the battlefield under your control, Dawnheart Disciple gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Doomed Dissenter. When it dies, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Hookhand Mariner. Daybound 4/4. Nightbound. Rip Hook Raider can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less, so in order to get rid of that one, they're going to have to commit quite a few resources to it. Cloaked Cadet. Training, so whenever this creature attacks with another creature with greater power, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Whenever one or more +1/+1 counters are put on one or more humans you control, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. Storm Chaser Drake. Flying, when it becomes the target of a spell you control, draw a card, so that's going to work pretty well in your blue-white spirit enchantment deck. Full Art Island. I don't see my little wizard friend down there in the foreground, so it's too bad. Mirror Hall Mimic. 3 and a blue. You may have Mirror Hall Mimic enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except it's a spirit in addition to its other types, and it has Disturb for 3 blue. In this set, Disturb usually means it's going to become an enchantment when it comes back out of your graveyard, transformed. In the last set, they were all creatures, I believe. So this one is an aura. Enchant creature. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a token that's a copy of enchanted creature, except it's a spirit in addition to its other types.
Spirit tribal.
Glass Cast Heart. This is another full art commander card from the Commander Precons. Whenever one or more vampires you control attack, create a blood token. Pay 1 black and tap it, pay 1 life, create a white and black vampire creature token with lifelink, pay 2 black and tap, sacrifice it, and 13 blood tokens. Each opponent loses 13 life and you gain 13 life.
Woo! Lucky number 13!
That is a whole lot of blood tokens.
Yeah.
Curse of Hospitality. Enchant player. Creatures attacking enchanted player have trample. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to enchanted player, that player exiles the top card of their library. Until end of turn, that creature's controller may play that card, and they may spend mana Zoe or mana of any color to cast that spell. Voldaren Epicure, 1 mana for a 1/1. When it enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each opponent, and you get to create a blood token. Wow, that's pretty powerful for the blood token strategy. Lucy Westerna. This one is the Innocent Traveler, so 2 black. At the beginning of your upkeep, any opponent may sacrifice a creature. If no one does, transform Innocent Traveler. And it transforms into a 3/3 flyer, and it gets +2/+0 as long as an opponent controls a human. She is looking crazy in that.
It's kind of funny, because usually it says human werewolf, but on that card, it says human, and then on the back, she's actually a vampire. So.
Yeah, I don't think it said werewolf anywhere on the original one. That's how the actual card is.
Well, I understand, but like for werewolves, it says that it is a werewolf. But
Oh.
that card, it doesn't say that she's a vampire.
Oh yeah. Well, you want to have the element of surprise.
Fair.
All right, here's another Falcon Wrath Forebearer in the showcase art. Belligerent Guest in foil in the showcase art. We already saw that one. And Dorothea, Vengeful Victim. Flying 4/4. When it attacks or blocks, sacrifice it at end of combat. And you can it's only 2 mana for a 4/4, which is ridiculous. And then it comes back as an enchantment. And it has, whenever this creature attacks, create a 4/4 white spirit creature token with flying. That's tapped and attacking. Sacrifice that token at end of combat. That's pretty flavorful there.
They did too good of a job on sealing these.
Only the bottom side of those packs wants to open, huh?
Yeah. So, Steelclad Spirit Defender, or whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, it can attack this turn as though it didn't have Defender. Gnarly. Daybreak Combatants. Haste, when it enters the battlefield, target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Mulch. Sorcery, reveal the top 4 cards of your library. Put all land cards revealed this way into your hand, the rest into your graveyard. Courier Bat. When it enters the battlefield, if you gain life this turn, return up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Has flying. Blood Tithe Harvest. When it enters the battlefield, create a blood token. Tap, sacrifice it. Target creature gets -X until end of turn, where X is twice the number of blood tokens you control. Activate only as a sorcery. Olin Bach Escort. Vigilance. Sacrifice it. Target creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it gains lifelink and indestructible until end of turn. Our special black and white lands. Falcon Wrath Fairbore. Hey, look, it's the Dracula card. Priest of the Blessed Graph. At the beginning of your end step, create X 1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying, where X is the number of opponents who control more lands than you. Headless Rider. When it or another non-token zombie you control dies, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Voldaren Epicer. When it enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. You create a blood token. Skulking Killer. When it enters the battlefield, target creature an opponent controls gets -2/-2 until end of turn. If that opponent controls no other creatures, then Renfield Delusional Minion. This is also Aerith Tormented Prophet. If you draw a card, exile the top 2 cards of your library instead. You may play those cards this turn. Marvok Purifier. Lifelink. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain life this turn, you may pay 2. If you do, draw a card. Patchwork Crawler. Pay 3. Exile target creature card from your graveyard and put a +1/+1 counter on him. Patchwork Crawler has all activated abilities of all creature cards exiled with it. Then a vampire with lifelink.
Alright. I say we go straight to the bottom. +1. This pack. Okay. There we go. Okay. We've got Nature's Embrace. Enchant creature or land. As long as enchanted permanent is a creature, it gets +2/+2. As long as enchanted permanent is a land, if it has tap, add 2 mana of any one color.
Thanks again for stopping in, Jerry. Have a good stream, and when we're done, we're gonna head on over and check you out on The Last of Us. Looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Undying Malice. Until end of turn, target creature gains. When this creature dies, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control with a +1/+1 counter on it. I'm going to hate this card if I ever play against it. Perish Blade Trainee. Training, when it dies, put its counters on target creature you control.
That did some work for me at the pre-release.
Yeah, did it do pretty good for you?
Oh yeah, did better early game because it's a 1/1, but.
Now we got the Wretched Thong. When the Wretched
The what?
They're not Wretched Thong. When it
Thong,
dies.
thong, thong, thong. How about you read that again, dude?
When Wretched Throng dies, you may search your library for a card named Wretched Throng. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. I guess I was saying it wrong at the pre-release. Whoops.
That, is that the kind of thong you get at a strip club?
If you're into that, I guess.
The wretched thong makes more wretched thongs.
Oh.
Lunar Rejection. Cleave. Return target wolf or werewolf creature to its owner's hand. But if you and then draw a card. But if you cleave it, it says return target creature to its owner's hand. Then draw a card. So that's pretty nice.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this cleave mechanic. I mean, essentially it's just kicker, right? Everything's kicker.
Yep, everything is kicker.
It's what happens. Hey, Danger Seth, welcome. Yeah, it's what happens when you skip laundry day. That's nice.
Yep. We got the Lamholt Raconeer. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. It has Daybound, and then when it becomes night, it becomes the Lamholt Ravenger. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. Very nice. And then our foil swamp. Dig Up. This is a cleave that's kind of cool. Search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. But if you cleave, it says search your library for a card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle.
No, you don't have to reveal it.
Oh, yeah, don't reveal it.
It's just a tutor.
Yeah, just a tutor. Shadowgrange Archfiend. Whenever it enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a creature with the greatest power among creatures they control. You gain life equal to the greatest power among creatures sacrificed this way. And then Madness, you can pay 8 life. I don't remember what Madness does. Do you remember?
So Madness is an alternative cost, and it allows you to pay the alternate cost if you discard the card. So you discard it into exile and pay its Madness cost instead.
Nice. Hullbreaker Horror. Flash, this spell can't be countered. Whenever you cast a spell, choose up to 1. Return target spell you don't control to its owner's hand, or return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. That sounds really fun.
Yikes.
Blood Petal Celebrant. Blood Petal Celebrant has first strike as long as it's attacking. When it dies, create a blood token. That art makes it look like she's already dead, but that's a different story. Search the Count's Castle, which is Thirst for Discovery. Instant, draw 3 cards, then discard 2 cards unless you discard a basic land card. That's pretty cool.
That makes it look a lot more interesting than the original art.
Yeah, that's a really awesome alternate art there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Next we got Thalia, Guardian of Thraben. First strike, non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast. Then we got the Falcon Wraith Celebrants again. Menace, when it enters, create 2 blood. Oh man,
There we go.
Kea the Geist Hunter in Borderless. I don't know how to speak English. It's +1. As creatures you control gain Death Touch until end of turn. Put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 creature token you control.
That's so good.
And then, until end of turn, if 1 or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many tokens, or of those tokens, are created instead. And then the -6 is exile all cards from all graveyards, then create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying for each card exiled this way. Yikes. Oh, we got a spirit and blood. Very nice.
Have fun to suck your blood.
Alright, this pack here represents halfway through the box. We do have 2 box toppers and, of course, the foil promo pack that we'll be going through once we're done. Grizzly Ritual. 5 and a black. Destroy target creature or planeswalker and create 2 blood tokens. I mean, I guess if you have to. Kind of expensive, but, you know, in a pinch. 1 mana, 1/1 tap. Target creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Activate, or you gain 1 life. Activate only as a sorcery. Doesn't really help you in combat. Stitched Assistant exploit. When Stitched Assistant exploits a creature, scry 1, then draw a card. Alright, Desperate Farmer, lifelink. When another creature you control dies, transform Desperate Farmer, and it becomes a 4/3 with lifelink. Reclusive Taxidermist. We've already seen this in another card. Biolume Egg, Defender. When Biolume Egg enters the battlefield, scry 2. When you sacrifice Biolume Egg, return it to the battlefield transformed under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step, and becomes a 4/4. Sacrifice 2 islands, and it can't be blocked this turn. So, if you're a little mana flooded, it's got inevitability. Another island. Cemetery Illuminator, flying. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, exile a card from a graveyard. Not your graveyard, just any graveyard. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. Once each turn, you may cast a spell from the top of your library. If it shares a card type with a card exiled with... I'm going to have to read that again. Once each turn, you may cast a spell from the top of your library if it shares a card type with a card exiled with Cemetery Illuminator. So you can kind of set that up. You can look at the top card anytime and set it up so that you're always able to cast a spell if you can. Timon Youthful Geist. Partner with Rhoda Geist Avenger. Flying. At the beginning of each combat, tap up to 1 target creature. Oh, that's cool.
What?
Yeah, it's got partner affinity.
That's the spirit. Nope, never mind.
Yeah, this is the commander card.
Oh, I thought it was another one. Maybe they're both the... Where?
Mirror Hall Mimic. So we've already seen this one. Alluring Suitor. When you attack with exactly 2 creatures, transform Alluring Suitor. And on the back, he's a Deadly Dancer. Oh yeah, we've seen this one, huh? Deadly Dancer. Van Helsing's Holy Ward, so Circle of Confinement. 1 and a white. When it enters, exile target creature an opponent controls with mana value 3 or less until it leaves the battlefield. Whenever an opponent casts a vampire spell with the same name as a card exiled with Circle of Confinement, you gain 2 life. Dorothea, got this again, so 2 for a 4/4 flyer. When it attacks or blocks, sacrifice at the end of combat, and it becomes an enchantment with whenever the creature attacks, create a 4/4 white spirit creature token with flying that's tapped and attacking, and sacrifice it at the end of combat. So you get kind of the same thing. Voldaren Epicure. When it enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each opponent and create a blood token. Old Rutstein. When Old Rutstein enters the battlefield or at the beginning of your upkeep, mill a card. If a land card is milled this way, create a treasure token. If a creature card is milled this way, create a 1/1 green insect creature token. If a non-creature, non-land card is milled this way, create a blood token. Wow.
You know what? No, I'm grabbing the back. Okay, maybe that time the top wanted to open. Zombie. So. Reparatory Scab. Exploit. When it exploits a creature, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Rural Recruit. Training. When it enters the battlefield, create a 3/1 green boar creature token. Persistent Specimen. Pay 3 and return it from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Heroine Blessed Geist. Flying for exile it from your graveyard. Create 2 1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying. Activate only if you control an enchantment and only as a sorcery. Archghoul of Thurbin. When it or another zombie you control dies, look at the top card of your library. If it's a zombie card, you may reveal it and put it into your hand. If you don't, put that card into your hand. If you don't put that card into your hand, you may put it into your graveyard. Resistance Squad. When it enters the battlefield, if you control another human, draw a card. Mountain. Nice. Sigarda's Summons. Creatures you control with +1/+1 counters on them have base power and toughness 4/4, have flying, and are angels in addition to their other types. Spectral Arcanist. Flying, when it enters the battlefield, you may cast an instant or sorcery spell with mana value less than or equal to the number of spirits you control from a graveyard without paying its mana cost. If that spell would be put into a graveyard, exile it instead. Helmet Vanguard, Ward 2. It enters the battlefield with 2 +1/+1 counters on it for each other non-token human you control. Gluttonous Guest. Whenever it enters the battlefield, create a blood token. Whenever you sacrifice a blood token, you gain 1 life. Belligerent Guest, we've seen that. And then the 3 Sisters, also known as Henkira Dominethi.
This is such a good card.
I can't see that. Flying, at the beginning of combat on your turn, choose one that hasn't been chosen. Each player sacrifices a creature. You draw a card and lose 1 life. Transform it. Transformed side. Friends of the Darkest Night. Flying, Death Touch, Lifelink.
What's so funny about that?
It's not friends, it's fiends.
Oh, Fiends of Darkest Night.
Okay, well, just tell him.
Flying, Death Touch, Lifelink. Pay 3. Each creature you control without flying, Death Touch, and or Lifelink gets +1/+0 until end of turn. What's funny is that the dog is also now demonized.
Demon dog.
Oh, they're so happy, and then everybody turns into a demon. Fun times. Restless Bloodseeker. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain life this turn, create a blood token. Sacrifice 2 blood tokens. Transform it. Activate only as a sorcery. Transforms into Blood-Soaked Reveler. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain life this turn, create a blood token. Pay 5. Each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Wow, that's pretty... Wow. Wedding announcement. At the beginning of your end step, put an invitation counter on wedding announcement. If you attacked with 2 or more creatures this turn, draw a card. Otherwise, create a 1/1 white human creature token. Then, if wedding announcement has 3 or more invitation counters on it, transform it. Transforms into Wedding Festivity. Creatures you control get +1/+1. That is really good.
Very nice, very nice.
Then wolf and zombie.
It's a zombie wolf.
Zombie.
Straight in the middle we'll go. Is there actually Renin 7 in this set? Or
No, I was just making a joke at pre-release.
Yeah. That's what I thought. I was just wanted to clarify. Because it'd be awesome if I got a Renin 7 and not a Renin 7 deck. Alright.
You mean if Dad got a red M7?
Yeah. Alright. Hungry Witch Wolf. As long as you control another wolf or werewolf, it gets +1/+0 and has trample. Apprentice Sharpshooter. Training Reach. 1/4. That's pretty nice. Mind Leech Ghoul. Exploit. Whenever it exploits, each opponent exiles a card from their hand. Militia Railier. Militia Railier. Militia Railier can't attack alone. Whenever it attacks, untap target creature. Edgar's Awakening. Return target card from your graveyard to the battlefield. When you discard Edgar's Awakening, you may pay black. If you do, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. That's cool.
That's, yeah, I don't know why they didn't just call that madness, but whatever.
Yeah. Cartographer's Survey. Look at the top 7 cards of your library. Put up to 2 land cards from among them onto the battlefield tapped. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Nice swamp. Oh, nice. We got a land.
Oh, nice! A land! Yay!
Striphon Martyr Protogener. Flying at the beginning of your end step, create a blood token for each player who lost life this turn. Whenever it attacks, you may sacrifice 2 blood tokens. If you do, you may put a vampire card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. It gains indestructible until end of turn.
Why did we get both of the pre-con commanders?
I don't know.
Because that's how it goes, dude.
Yeah. Consuming Tide. Each player chooses a non-land permanent they control. Return all non-land permanents not chosen this way to their owner's hands. When you draw a card for each opponent who has more cards in their hand than you. Then you draw a card for each opponent who has more cards in their hand than you.
Yeah, it's pretty nice because last set there was just a lot of werewolves, so kind of more into vampires myself, and these seem a lot stronger and a lot more pushed than the werewolves were in the last set.
Yep. We got Markov Purifier next. Lifelink at the beginning of your end step. If you gain life this turn, you may pay 2. If you do, draw a card. Oh, we got another Search the Count's Castle. That's pretty cool. Halana and Elena, partners. First strike reach. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put X +1/+1 counters on another target creature you control, where X is Helena and Elena's power. That creature gains haste until end of turn.
Pretty sure I lost that card once.
Oh yeah, it seems really powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, day and night is a really fun mechanic. I agree, Danger Seth, and it's really fun trying to set up turns where you can enable one or the other to your advantage, whether you're the one with the day or the night. It is a little tough keeping track of that when you're playing in person, like in paper Magic, but I think it's worth it. I like that mechanic better than some of the other Innistrad mechanics from the past.
Yep. Oh, we got our gluttonous guest again. A Lantern Flare. Cleave X red and white. Yes. It deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker, and you gain X life. X is the number of creatures you control. But if you cleave, you just knock that out.
Yeah, that's actually one of the better cleave, one of the more clean cleave designs, in my opinion.
Yep.
I have to get the blowtorch out here just to get these packs open. Aim for the head. Boy, I hate this card. I had someone play this against me and it was pretty devastating. Choose one. Exile target zombie or target opponent exiles 2 cards from their hands. It was not very good to me. Unholy Officiant, Vigilance, and you can pay 5 to put a +1/+1 counter on it. So, I mean, I guess inevitability, but not all that great. Wanderlight Spirit, flying, it can only block creatures with flying. Sure Strike, a little combat trick. Target creature gets +3/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn. Sigardian Paladin. As long as you've put 1 or more +1/+1 counters on a creature this turn, Sigardian Paladin has trample and lifelink. 1 green-white. Target creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it gains trample and lifelink until end of turn. Runebound Wolf. 3 and a red, tap. Runebound Wolf deals damage equal to the number of wolves and werewolves you control to target opponent. Wolves and werewolves aren't totally out of this set, just, they did just dial them back a bit. Ooh, I didn't see this island before, that's pretty nice. Voice of the Blessed, white for a 2/2. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on Voice of the Blessed. As long as Voice of the Blessed has 4 or more +1/+1 counters on it, it has flying and vigilance. As long as Voice of the Blessed has 10 or more +1/+1 counters on it, it has indestructible. And so, a little build around there if you're in limited, but it could be done. Breathkeeper Seraph. Flying Soulbound. This is our Commander Precon card. As long as Breathkeeper Seraph is paired with another creature, each of those creatures has, when this creature dies, you may return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of your next upkeep. So Soulbound is a mechanic that allows you to, it like partners with another creature that's on the battlefield. So Avabrook Caretaker, hexproof. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put 2 +1/+1 counters on another target creature you control. So that's immediate impact if you're playing, like, as soon as it comes on board. Daybound Nightbound, it's a hexproof werewolf. Other permanents you control have hexproof. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put 2 +1/+1 counters on each creature you control. Wow. That is, yeah, definitely earning that mythic rare slot there. Blood Crazed Socialite. We've got another one of those. Restless Bloodseeker. At the beginning of your end step, if you gained life this turn, create a blood token and sack 2 blood tokens to transform it. Activate only as a sorcery. This one is Blood-Soaked Reveler. At the beginning of your end step, if you gained life this turn, create a blood token and pay 4 and a black. Each opponent loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life. So unlike Daybound, Nightbound, this one's just going to stay transformed till it leaves the battlefield. Dracula the Voyager. My man! Edgar Charmed Groom. I had this in my pre-release kit, and he put in some serious work for me. So Dracula or Edgar says, other vampires you control get +1/+1. When it dies, return it to the battlefield transformed under its owner's control. And on the backside, he is the Casket of Native Earth or Edgar Markov's Coffin. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a 1/1 white and black creature token with lifelink and put a blood counter on Edgar Markov's Coffin. Then, if there are 3 or more bloodline counters on it, remove those counters and transform it back to dun, 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 the Dracula, the Edgar on the front. So if you can keep those tokens around, now you got 2/2 lifelinkers. Pretty nice stuff. Unholy Officiant. 1 white for a 1/2 with vigilance, and 4 and a white to put a +1/+1 counter on it. Splendid Reclamation. I think this card is going into my Omnath Commander deck. 3 and a green. Return all land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped.
My soul hurts.
Bam! Bam! That's what I'm talking about.
That does seem fun.
Alright, 3 packs left, and then our 3 alternate packs.
That's just...
What, you don't want to play against that?
No, he doesn't.
I mean, I could probably stand up to it. I probably wouldn't be living very long. But, I mean, I still got my Joda deck on hand, so... We're still fine. We're rolling. We're rolling.
5 color good stuff, I know.
These dang packs. So, Estwald Shield Basher. Whenever it attacks, you may pay 1. If you do, it gains indestructible. Alchemist Revertrol Cleave for 2. Return target non-land permanent you control to its owner's hand. And then if you cleave it, it says return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. So that's pretty good. Abrade. Choose 1. It deals 3 damage to target creature or destroy target artifact.
I'm so glad that they bumped that down from uncommon to common, because that was like a $7 card when it was first in Hour of Devastation or Amonkhet. I don't know, it was ridiculous, but yeah, really nice, powerful card, and I'm glad that it's at common. You see him flying around quite a bit more.
Crushing Canopy. Choose 1, destroy target creature with flying, or destroy target enchantment. Blood Hypnosis. I'm pretty sure we've seen one of those before. Valorous Stance. Choose 1, destroy target creature with power with toughness 4 greater. Then target creature gains indestructible until end of turn. Are wonderful lands. Demonic Bargain. This is not that great of a card. Not gonna lie.
It's not that great in limited. I mean, it could be a decent card in like Commander, where you've got 100 cards in your deck.
So it says exile the top 13 cards of your library. Then search your library for a card. Put that card into your hand, then shuffle. When I first read this, I thought it was top 3. Nah, it's lucky number 13 for Innistrad purposes. So, Disorder in the Court. Exile X target creatures, then investigate X times. Return the exiled cards to the battlefield tapped under their owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. Oh, that's broken. Because you oh yeah, goodbye all of your defenses, and hello drawing cards for the next 25 turns. Winged Portent. For 3 mana. Draw a card for each creature with flying you control. And then if you cleave it for 6 mana, and blue and a green, draw a card for each creature you control. So, Falkrith Celebrants, Menace, when it enters the battlefield, create 2 blood tokens, Blood Crazed Socialite, another Dracula, another dude.
Hold on, is that the same one?
Yeah, we've got
Oh yeah, Falcon Wrath Forebear.
Then Howlpack Piper. This spell can't be countered. 2 mana, tap, put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. If it's a wolf or werewolf, untap him and activate only as a sorcery. Daybound, then Nightbound. He is Wild Song Howler. Whenever this creature enters the battlefield or transforms, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal a card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Nightbound. Yeah. And a nice spirit with some blood. Bloodied spirit.
Bloodied spirit.
Blood, guts, fingers and toes.
What?
Alright. Possibly. Oh, there we go.
Rip.
Okay. We've got a ceremonial knife. Whenever a equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has whenever this creature deals combat damage, create a blood token.
I knew it.
It's equipped too, so that's pretty nice. That is pretty nice. Vampire Slayer. Whenever Vampire Slayer deals damage to a vampire, destroy that creature.
Yikes.
Yikes. Falcon Wraith Celebrants. A Weary Prisoner, Defender, Daybound. And then when it's nighttime, he attacks each combat if able. It's a pretty pretty terrifying for a 6/6. Witness the future. Target player shuffles up to 4 target cards from their graveyard into their library. You look at the top 4 cards of your library, then put one of those cards into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Child of the Pact. You can create werewolves, or wolves, and it's daybound, but when it becomes night, trample. Other creatures you control get +1/+0, and nightbound.
So the thing here is, if you can't cast any spells, you make a wolf, then it goes to night, then your 2/2 wolf becomes a 3/3.
That's true.
Nice.
Now we've got nice plans. Torrens, Fist of the Angels. Training. Whenever you cast a spell, create a 1/1 green and white human with training. Nice normal art. Crossway Tumblemakers. It's a commander card. Attacking vampires you control have Death Touch and Vigilance. Whenever you
How about Death Touch and Lifelink?
Death Touch and a Lifelink, yes. Death Touch and Lifelink. Attacking creatures get.
Vigilance. Interesting.
Whenever a vampire you control dies, you may pay 2 life. If you do, draw a card. Change of Fortune. Discard your hand, then draw a card for each card you've discarded this turn.
That was my promo card.
That's awesome. That's super fun. Falcon Wraith Celebrant, once again. Blood Hypnotist. When it can't block, whenever you sacrifice 1 or more blood tokens, target creature can't block this turn. This ability triggers only once each turn. Very nice. Mina Harker, or Thalia, Guardian of Thuravan. First strike, non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast. That's pretty cool. Mysterious Blood Illness. Vampire's Vengeance, and other names. Vampire's Vengeance deals 2 damage to each non-vampire creature. Create a blood token. That's kind of a cool art, though. Hamlet Vanguard. Ward 2, it enters the battlefield with 2 +1/+1 counters on it for each other non-token human you control. And then you've got a human. There we go.
Getting down to the last of it. Whoa.
Yay.
Alright, Vampire's Kiss. 1 and a black. Target player loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life. Create 2 blood tokens. Adamant Will. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains indestructible until end of turn. Cruel Witness. Flying. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, look at the top card of your library. You may put that card into your graveyard. Lantern Bearer, 1 mana 1/1 flying disturb for 1 and a blue or 2 and a blue. Lantern's Lift, enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has flying. Vampire's Vengeance, we just saw that one. Radiant Grace, 1 mana for an aura. Enchanted creature gets +1/+0 and has vigilance. When enchanted creature dies, return Radiant Grace to the battlefield transformed under your control, attached to target opponent. Creatures enchanted player controls enter the battlefield tapped. Yikes. Forest. By invitation only. Speaking of our pre-release promo cards, this is the one I got. I didn't actually play it, though. Choose a number between 0 and 13. Each player sacrifices that many creatures.
Lucky number 13.
Yep.
Goodbye.
Thundering Nightmare, Soulbound. As long as Thundering Nightmare is paired with another creature, each of those creatures has, whenever an opponent casts a spell, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature, so they'll both get bigger. Dig Up in the full art. We've already seen that guy. Blood Petal Celebrant. We've seen that one. Lucy Westerna. We just saw that one. She is ugly. Shattered Sanctum. Here's our slow land, our black-white slow land. It's really nice in the full art. Unholy Officiant in the foil. And Dream Shacklegeist. 1 blue for a 3/1 flyer. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose up to 1. Tap target creature. Target creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. So if you can tap one down, or if one's already tapped, you just keep it locked down for the rest of the game, essentially. Alright, and that leaves us with our... Alright.
I'm going to assume that you get to open the promo.
You can open it if you'd like.
I'm interested in the box topper, so...
Okay.
Are there arena codes in the box top, or is that just a promo thing?
No, it's just a promo thing.
We're searching something
Ryan, just open the pack.
He's trying to open it.
without ruining the cards.
Yeah, typical blue. Just locking everything down.
Yeah,
Oh, so
searching the Count's Castle. Gnarly. It's not a bad card, but it's not the greatest. But it is foil, and it is really, really good, and I enjoy it.
There we go.
Alright, box topper number 2.
Season you up. Wow. Alright, let's see.
Drum roll, please.
Oh, hey, look, it's a card.
So, Dangerous Seth, does that mean that you are not a fan of the blue? You're not a blue mage, necessarily? Typically, people that say things like that don't really like, counter spells and that sort of thing.
Look, it's Amina.
Oh, look, it's her.
Yeah, it's her.
It's Talia.
That's Talia.
Or Thalia.
Thalia. Yeah.
Thalia.
Sweet.
Sweet, sweet. That's
Cool.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, my brother has a deck that
It's every
Is-
single Jace.
yeah, he has all the Jaces, and it's Counterspell City, and I will never allow him to play it against me. So
There aren't going to be any Crimson Vow promo packs. We're just blasting straight through with the Midnight Hunt promo packs. But yeah, so these are all going to be Midnight Hunt cards, or older cards. So first we have Lord of the Forsaken, 4 black for a 6/6. Flying Trample, pay 1, sack another creature, target player mills 3 cards. Pay 1 life, add colorless, spend this mana only to cast a spell from your graveyard. So helps get you those disturb cards back. Gavany Town Guard is going to be our alternate art. 1 white for a 3/3 ward 1. If it's neither day nor night, it becomes day as Gavany Dawn Guard enters the battlefield. Whenever day becomes night or night becomes day, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card with mana value 3 or less from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. And, from Kaldheim,
Oh.
boo.
Ascendant Spirit, 1 mana,
Oh,
1/1.
even more boo.
Pay 2 snow mana. Ascendant Spirit becomes a Spirit Warrior with base power and toughness 2/3. Pay 3 snow mana. If Ascendant Spirit is a warrior, put a flying counter on it, and it becomes a Spirit Warrior Angel with base power and toughness 4/4. And pay 6 snow mana. If Ascendant Spirit is an angel, put 2 +1/+1 counters on it, and it gains whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player. Draw a card. So, yeah. Not the most exciting on our older cards. I like to get some of the ones that are from real old sets, but that's the way it goes. So, thank you everyone for tuning in. We got quite a few decent pulls this time. I think these collector packs were quite a bit better than the ones from Midnight Hunt. There was a lot of those werewolves that were day-bound, night-bound. They weren't the best, but once again, thanks for tuning in. We did pick up this collector booster and the promo pack I won on Friday night at the pre-release event at Dueling Lands. They're located in Aurora, Colorado. You can check them out on the web, on Facebook or Instagram. They do sell sealed product. They have singles. If there's something you're looking for, please reach out and maybe they can get you hooked up with that. I believe they're going to be having sales coming up starting on Black Friday. So yeah, tune into those social media platforms to check out any sales they might be having. And thank you